Mr. Transformers 96 here with another video where I'm going to talk about a newly shown Hot Toys product, and this time, and I can't believe I'm going to be saying this, but this time I'm going to be talking about the Star Wars solo story, Darth Maul. Really didn't expect this to happen at all. Obviously Darth Maul was a surprise cameo in Solo that had one scene where he wasn't even in the room, it was just a hologram of him, and he just talked for about a minute, and that was all that we got of him, and obviously with Solo being such an underperformer just at the box office and critically speaking and just everything like that, I never expected to get a Hot Toys Darth Maul. This is actually the only piece of merchandise made from Solo of Darth Maul. There isn't a single other piece of merchandise of him, not even like I'm not even just talking about toys, I'm talking about like any kind of merchandise. There isn't any except for this one now. So this was absolutely shocking. I would have never in a million years guessed that this was actually going to be made. But now that it is being made, I'm actually pretty happy about it, to be honest. I think that it looks really cool. It was kind of the product that I didn't know that I needed, kind of. I guess that's how I can look at it. But really happy about this. So just where I stand on Darth Maul, I'm a big fan of Darth Maul. I really do love the character, and his fight in The Phantom Menace is one of my favorite lightsaber fights from any of the Star Wars films. It's definitely in my top three. And I think that he's just a very visually stunning character. So I was extremely excited to see him in Solo, and I do hope that eventually we'll get more payoff to his scene in Solo. However, again, with the fact that that movie was a bomb, and it's the only Star Wars bomb, I seriously doubt that we will. But, you know, there is always still hope. So let's get on to the actual figure here. I'll be doing some serious comparisons between this one and the previous Darth Maul figure, because they're very similar in the respects that they're both made, you know, within like a year of each other, and they're both DX figures, which Hot Toys does hardly any DX figures anymore. It seems like nowadays they're only making Darth Maul figures, considering the last two in like the last 5 years have both been Darth Maul. So let's get into it. So first of all, that face sculpt. The face sculpt is a little hit or miss for me, to be honest. I think that it has definitely some likeness to Ray Park in his role in Solo, especially when you look at the scenes of him. Okay, so in the movie, he obviously is in like a hologram state, so he looks a little off, especially face-wise, color-wise. It doesn't quite look like Darth Maul's face paint. But if you actually look at the promotional images that were taken and released well after the movie came out of Ray Park in this costume, on the day of shooting, of course, you can see that it is a pretty good face sculpt. I think it's a little rounder than it maybe should be. I think that it should be a little bit more angular. It's got a bit of roundness to it, which in the photos that they took, you really don't see. Like from the side here, it looks okay, but when it's looking like straight on, it has a bit of a roundish face that the actual seeing him in person doesn't actually have. I do like the fact that his mouth is open slightly. I think that's a good look, and it fits Darth Maul as a character. And then he obviously will have the movable eyes, considering this is a DX figure. That's what really makes figures DX, is the fact that they have movable eyes, and usually they come with more accessories. This one, he's not lacking on accessories, especially since he has such a small role. However, he doesn't have as many accessories as a DX figure, I think, should deserve, to be honest. I think DX figures should really come with 2 head sculpts, and they hit that mark with the first Darth Maul, but they did not do that with this one. Personally, I understand, I don't really need 2 head sculpts with this guy, but when I think of a DX figure, I think that he should have 2 head sculpts. So to be honest, I'd prefer this figure not to even be DX, just be a standard figure, and therefore get a lighter price tag on him. But overall, I think the face sculpt looks decent, especially when you're looking straight on like that. When you're looking up at it like this, it looks off. It does look a little weird when you're looking up at it, so I'm not a big fan of that angle, but the other angles do look good. His costume is definitely harkens back to his original look, but with some solid differences, including that kind of necklace piece that he wears, which I believe is kind of the symbol of the crime organization that he now runs, that he was revealed to be running in Solo. He does have the mechanical legs, which is a staple of Darth Maul after The Phantom Menace, for obvious reasons, and he does look very cool. I think that the legs have a lot of good detail, especially when you're looking at them from the side. You don't notice it straight on, but from the side there's actually some really nice detailing going on there. I hope that they're very stable, and they don't look goofy with him either. They do actually look really nice with him. So let's get some comparisons of this guy versus the last Darth Maul figure, also DX, and it's just starting to come out. And I will talk about the release date. We don't have a price on this new one quite yet at the time of filming this. He hasn't been put on pre-order. I'm sure by the time I post it, or around the time I post it, the price probably will come out. But as you can see, here's just a comparison of accessories, essentially, and the two figures kind of side by side. So the accessories that they're kind of a wash at, first of all, the figure themselves, the figures are on par with each other, same amount of detail type of thing, so the figures kind of wash each other out. The lightsabers wash each other out as well. They both come with the double-bladed lightsabers, and both of them have interchangeable pieces for the blades to have it be like a swooshing effect to make it look like it's in motion. As far as hands are concerned, it looks like you get a bit more with the original Darth Maul, but overall it's very similar, so I just call those a wash as well. The bases are exactly the same style, so those just equal each other out as well. So now the differences between the two is accessory-wise. The items that you get extra with this solo Darth Maul are the two hologram pieces of himself and Korra. Both of those look really lightly detailed. They don't look like they have great detail, to be honest, at all. So I wouldn't consider those very intricate accessories, and they're obviously going to be very small, but he does still come with them. And then his one big accessory is the little stool that he's sitting on, which when I first saw that he came with a stool, I was like, do we really need that? But to be honest, I mean, in the movie, like, we really only see him on the stool. He stands up at the very end of his monologue, but other than that, he's really just on the stool. And if you want to recreate the pose or the image of him from Solo, you kind of need it. So at first I wasn't a big fan of it, but now I kind of understand the reasoning for it, so I'm okay with him coming with the stool, and it does look fine. The detail looks good. It doesn't look like it's very large, though, so it's relatively, for like a sitting accessory, it's very small, but for an accessory just overall, it's decently sized. And then the extra things that you get with the original Darth Maul are the probe droid, the binoculars, and then, although it's not pictured in his like list of accessories, you also get the coat that can go over it to kind of recreate the scene of him on Tatooine. So you get the big full coat, which is a really big cloth accessory. And then you get a secondary head sculpt, which is a completely new sculpt. So to be honest, I think that you definitely get more with the original Darth Maul, because when you look at just kind of the amount of accessories, they're about the same. But, the stool versus a new head sculpt, I value the new head sculpt a lot more, and I think a lot more time and effort goes into that new head sculpt, because they're all hand-painted too. So I definitely think that the head sculpts are harder to make and therefore are a little bit more valuable, rather than the stool being a decent size accessory, but it's relatively easy to make. And then the probe droid and the binoculars, you can say, will equal out the holograms that the Solo comes with, but then you also get the extra coat with this new version. So to be honest, you'd seem to get a little bit more, I'd say, with the original, with the with the original Darth Maul. I think that you get a little less with him, without a secondary head sculpt, but you still get a decent amount. So, I'm very happy with what this new Darth Maul comes with. My only concern is that it's not priced accordingly. The original Darth Maul figure, the standard version, not the super deluxe one, which comes with his whole speeder, is $282, which I do think is it's pretty expensive. Obviously, being a DX figure, I understand why it's a little more expensive than your average figure, but I still think it's a little expensive. So this new one, I would imagine, is going to be just about the same price. I'm hoping it's slightly less, though, because, again, he does come with a little less. So I would like to see this new one be about $270. I think that would be fair, but I could definitely see them pricing him at exactly the same price, $282, and I can even see them go a little higher at like $290. If it's $300, it's extremely overpriced. If it's anything over $280, it's overpriced. But if it's like $300, it's just beyond overpriced. But I don't expect that. So I am hoping again that he's about $270. I think that would be very fair for what you get with it, and I think that would be a pretty acceptable price range. for this item. Now, do I plan to get it? The original Darth Maul figure I actually did purchase. I have it on pre-order. It'll be coming within weeks, I assume. And then also I'll talk about the release date in a second here. But I did end up getting the original Darth Maul figure. I'm very excited for it. It was a figure that I didn't think that I was going to get, but when I saw it, I was really blown away by it, especially by the secondary head sculpt. I really enjoyed that as well. So I did decide to get it. This new one, I am not 100% sure if I'm going to get it. If this was being released tomorrow, I would definitely get it. But considering there's quite a bit of time before this one comes out, I don't know what my state of mind will be when it comes out, if I'll decide to get it. I do want it right now, but again, like, just because he has such a small scene in Solo, I don't think we're ever going to see him again, and I have a Darth Maul already. I don't know if I'm going to find it totally 100% needed in the future, but for right now, I really do like it. It's really neat to get figures like this that are a complete surprise from Hot Toys. I really do enjoy that, and yeah, it looks really cool, and it would be really cool to have this guy with the other Darth Maul. The two Darth Mauls, I think, would be really neat to have together. As far as the release date's concerned, we don't have an exact date yet, but what it's said to be is the end of 2020 to the beginning of 2021, which is very far away. Obviously, it's like a year and a half away, to be honest, which is extremely far. I'm not too happy with that release date. However, I was not happy with the original Darth Maul's release date. That was about a year and a half out as well, but that figure actually got released early because it came out in Hong Kong couple weeks ago, I think. It might even be a month at this point. I think it's a couple weeks though. And it was originally supposed to come out between October and December, so it came out several months early, which is really nice. And therefore, I'm holding out hope that maybe this one will be released early as well. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens with this. Overall, really excited about it though, and really hoping that the price tag isn't crazy. But yeah, really surprising figure to be shown by Hot Toys. Let me know what you guys think of it, and thanks so much for watching.